Good afternoon. I know it is always difficult with the surname, which is Haralambakis, and it's difficult to pronounce. I will, in the next few slides, I will briefly present you, and I promise that I will be quite quick about our idea in supporting improved tsunami risk management and planning in the northeastern Atlantic and Mediterranean region through a project called NEAM Commitment. The project has been endorsed by the Ocean Decade Tsunami Program as a decade project and has been funded by the European Union Civil Protection Mechanism under the call for knowledge for action in prevention and preparedness. The consortium consists of 13 countries from 13 partners from 4 countries, namely Greece, Cyprus, Italy, and Spain, and it includes 3 national civil protection authorities from Greece, Italy, and Spain, 1 municipality, the municipality of Lipari in the Aeolian Islands in southern Italy, 1 international organization, the Global Earthquake Model Foundation, and 4 national tsunami warning centers from Greece, Italy, Cyprus, and Spain. The structure of the project is quite simple. It has 2 main scientific work packages. The one is about national inundation mapping, and the other one is about local evacuation multi-hazard mapping. And of course, has a first work package about coordination and management, and the last work package, which is also very, very important, is about outreach, dissemination, and communication about the results of the project. The aim of the project is to improve tsunami preparedness in the NEAM region at different scales for effective risk evacuation and emergency management. Its objectives are spanning from the national to local levels, addressing needs for national tsunami risk planning and for enhancing multi-hazard preparedness in coastal communities at risk. Tsunami inundation maps are crucial for coastal planning and risk management, not only at the national level, but also they support local tsunami hazard assessment and evacuation planning. The national component of the project also contributes to the important tsunami initiatives like Tsunami Ready Recognition Program and the objectives of the Ocean Decade Tsunami Program. At the local levels, we are taking into account tsunamis from earthquakes and volcanic activity, which pose significant risks for coastal communities in the region, and the multi-hazard approach will be applied considering cascading effects which are needed for effective tsunami evacuation and emergency management. Additionally, emphasis is given on science-informed participatory and decision-making workshops to improve local planning and implementation effectiveness. The geographical coverage of the project spans throughout the Mediterranean region, with Spain, Greece, and Cyprus developing inundation maps at the national level, and Greece and Italy hosting the 2 local sites for the production of detailed evacuation maps. The first main objective of the project is to have a common national map, across the NEAM region. Italy has started and already prepared tsunami inundation maps for the whole country. And through the project, also Cyprus, Greece, and Spain will follow the blueprint by Italy and develop their own national maps. We will also develop guidelines and tools for implementation in other countries and regions, and we will disseminate the results across both national stakeholders, but also will communicate the methodological approach we are following at the international level. The project builds upon a previous DG-ECO-funded project, the TSUMAPS NEAM, which produced a regional tsunami hazard model for the Mediterranean, and by applying GIS tools, we aim to convert the offshore tsunami hazard into inundation extent. Inundation maps are important tools for coastal assessment because they support operations of tsunami early warning system, and they also assist in planning and regulating coastal development. The workflow we are going to follow consists of, at first, we will quantify the hazard levels through a probabilistic tsunami hazard assessment and convert the maximum inundation height to inundation distance. Then the decision-making process will follow on deciding the acceptable level of risk by selecting the probability, the return period, and the safety factors. And finally, we'll apply the methodology with the procession of the inundation map analysis that is needed for the refinement of the maps and for validating the results. The application of the methodology is based on a couple of specialized GIS tools in Python that we have developed in order to apply the empirical rules that are needed in order to convert the hazard into inundation extent. We are also working in providing these tools through the European Plate Observatory System platform under the thematic core series of tsunamis, as Dr. Babeko will present you. The second objective is the location scientific multi-hazard risk management. We have selected 2 pilot sites in Greece and Italy. I will explain more later. In order to perform local tsunami evacuation mapping through science-informed participatory decision-making, considering multi-hazard cascading effects, namely the earthquakes and the volcanic activities. Again, we will prepare guidelines to be shared with the broader community, and we will also have educational and awareness activities at the local sites. The first local site is the town of Methoni. It's located in the southwestern part of Greece, and it's very close to the Hellenic subduction zone, an area which is prone to mega earthquakes and big tsunamis. According to the regional tsunami hazard model, it has the highest hazard in Greece and one of the highest for the whole Mediterranean. And in order to apply the methodologies for the evacuation mapping, we are going to have same earthquake scenarios both for tsunami and seismic impact assessment. We are going to perform detailed numerical simulations in order to estimate the inundation zones. And then we are going to have the exposure and vulnerability analysis in the area in order to assess the impact that the earthquake and the tsunami has in designing the evacuation routes and the other elements that are needed for the evacuation mapping. The second local site is the island of Stromboli. It's an active volcano in southern Italy in the Tyrrhenian Sea. Also here we're going to have inundation maps based on both earthquake-triggered tsunamis, but also landslide-triggered tsunamis that are generated by the collapse of the flanks of the Stromboli volcano. And for this, we will also consider other volcanic hazards, like pyroclastic flows and ballistics, in order to reevaluate an already implemented evacuation map that exists for the Stromboli Island. The project will accomplish its goal through a science-informed participatory making approach, similar to the one we showed by Dr. Malika Malina. I'm not sure I remember the name correctly, for the Indonesia region. And in this way, decision makers take ownership of the products and maximizes the implementation effects, because this methodology brings together decision makers, communicators, stakeholders, and scientists in order to co-design the various elements of what is needed to have to increase the resilience of the community. The project aims to contribute to improve tsunami risk management and planning in the NEOM countries and beyond by creating open access guidelines and tools that develop the methodologies used. I would like to conclude this brief presentation with the words by Max Mayfield, which is a meteorologist and the former director of the National Hurricane Center in the US, that preparation through education is less costly than learning through tragedy. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marinos. We have time for one question. Suchi?
Thank you very much. My question is how this project can engage the community in terms of development the tsunami hazard assessment. I mean, what is the role of community in developing this tsunami hazard assessment? Because I think the Tsunami Ready is a community-based.
Okay, hazard assessment is one of the first steps, especially for the Tsunami Ready, but also for building the resilience for a community. It's maybe the one that the local community has the least engagement, but at least what we are aiming to do is to provide them with all the information that we have about which are the hazards for the specific community and why it is needed to do the following step. Otherwise, if they don't understand that there is hazard that the hazard that you are describing is credible and it's there, they will not, I think that they will not perform all the other steps if they don't believe that they are in danger. But they, of course, they cannot have a clear say on the hazard itself.
Thank you, Marinos. The next talk is from Professor Fatima.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have the pleasure of presenting the activities within the project PC Twin, which is related to human exposure modeling along the Indian coastlines. And it's a teamwork, what I'm presenting today, between University College London and colleagues at INCOIS. So I will be very quick. So I'm not going to talk too much about human exposure models. I guess we are familiar with those. I would like to just stress that these models have two immediate practical implementations. One of them is for impact forecasting to predict the number of people that are going to be affected by an impending tsunami event. And also, they're very valuable data set that can be used in a probabilistic tsunami risk assessment framework to find the distribution of population for different return periods. Within the project, we have envisioned two different types of activities. One of them is at a national scale. The idea is to develop national human exposure maps for India. Which are static maps, and they have a resolution of around 100 meters, and they are going to be used for operational purposes. We are also going to work on a prototype of exposure modeling at a, let's say, site-specific, like at a level of a community that kind of captures the movements within a community, with what we call the dynamic exposure, which we believe is quite important for assessing the impact of tsunami events. So in this talk, I'm going to focus on the national exposure maps. I'm going to be quick in the interest of time, so I'm going to very immediately move towards the areas of interest that I'm going to show. So the areas that you see on the map are areas that basically, our colleagues at INCOIS have done some census, some very detailed census of information they have gathered for the coastal communities that I am showing here, 3 areas. So these data are done basically, they are like an envelope of, let's say, occupancy. So they have really selected areas that have maximum occupancy, which is done for the purpose of early warning. So this is a data that we're going to use. I'm not going to say for validation, but we are using for comparison with the methodology that we have adopted. So the methodology is a methodology already documented in the literature. The credit is to the source. It's called Popcorn. It's basically a neural network procedure that's based on satellite information, and also it relies on census information. And if you ask me why it is this is used, because it's quite useful in cases where census information may not be up to date or may be at a coarser level. And it only relies on satellite imagery to get the building footprints, which is all open source information. So just to go directly to the results, this is results for Puri in Odisha. So this is the map that is derived based on the database of INCOIS. So I'm going to immediately show our estimate, which uses this popcorn methodology, but it is also going to use some projection of population growth based on the UNDP reports available. So basically, you see that there is around 20% of error. If I just focus on why, you can see the yellow point in INCOIS data, and this is a scholastic institute that has an occupancy of around 1,600 people, and clearly this is not reflected as a nighttime occupancy, which is the basis of popcorn database. Because for the same point, we have 946 over a pixel of 100 meter for 100 meters. So basically includes this institute and also other houses around it. So that kind of is like a way of comparison to like a sanity check, basically, of the procedure. Also, this is the second set of data for Pondicherry. This is the INCOIS data set. It is around 8,000 people in the area that you see. For the exact same area, we get a very close estimate. So the method works quite well for Pondicherry, like around 2% of error. This is the third zone, which is Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. And for this area, INCOIS data set shows around 2 million population, but our estimate shows much less. So we are talking around 60% of difference. And obviously, we were interested to know why there is such a difference. And if you see, this is like a closer zoom on the area. So the point that you see here is a specific point for which we get 300, let's say 30 people. Whereas in the INCOIS data set, we get around 5,000. So here you can see that it is referring to this red point here. So this big area where this can be a place of, let's say, gathering. So that's why this can be the reason for the difference. So just to say why this kind of discrepancies can exist. Clearly, one important thing to keep in mind is that the census database that is the basis of the, let's say, popcorn method that we have used is a 2011 census data. And the data set of INCOIS goes to 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So there is like a huge difference in the years. I'm going to skip our second method in the interest of time and move to the conclusions. Basically, this is a very preliminary study that we are doing within the project. So we are working on it. We're going to do like a kind of a deeper learning, a more detailed, deeper learning to see how much that would improve. But that also emphasizes the importance of the type of model for population growth that we are adopting, which should be specific to the location. For example, Indian coastline have very complex growth model for the population. And with that, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. We have time for one question. Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yes. So we have talk now for Dr. Wenisa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Today, I would like to present about the agent model, best modeling for the Palabuhan Ratu and Jayanti village in response to the South Java megatrust earthquake tsunami with a magnitude 9.1 and integrated model of tsunami hazard and human response. Yes, as we all know that Indonesia is a very active country with a seismic and tsunami due to the located of Indonesia on the border of the first plat Indo-Australia, Russia, Pacific, and Philippines. And the consequence of this location, there will be 13 megatrusts and more than 200 active faults. 46% of Indonesia coastline are prone to tsunami. In this study, we are focusing for the southwest of Java, where many tsunami histories south of Java occurred. Here, there are July 2006 with magnitude 7.7. There will be fatalities is more than 800 people died. And there are several others events occurred in 2009 with magnitude 7.0 and August 2019 with a magnitude 6.9. This is actually the motivation about the tsunami evacuation, since Indonesia already established with the tsunami warning. But on the other hand, we also refer from the Eric Mas 2014 mentioned that not only for the tsunami warning system, but also the evacuation complaints. And the second one is related with the action that need to be taken by the community doing or to be action from the tsunami warning. They just thinking about how far and how high should I evacuate. On this condition, so it means they're planning for the shelter related with the location, allocation, capacity, and safety will be very important. And also to respond the updated or the upgrade warning information to be part of this motivation for the response tsunami warning. So the objective of this study is how to know the impact of the tsunami 9.1 from the Southwest Java on the villages of the Palabuhan Ratu and Jayanti, and how to identify the community behavior in the event of the such of tsunami. This is actually the study area. As we can see from these figures, the Palabuhan Ratu and Jayanti is located in the south of the West Java, which is the long of the seismic gap and most weighted seismic segment in Indonesia. The Palabuhan Ratu is the famous tourist for destination, and the Jayanti has the steam power plant, which is a vital electrical supply for Java and Bali. Currently, there are 4 evacuation sites existing. First is the this park, Tanjoresmi Park. This is the number 1, and the second one is the official of the parliament of the Sukabumi region, and the third one is the Palabuhan Ratu Sports Center, and the fourth is the High Hill behind the steam powered plant. And the yellow one is the exit point for the location far from the shoreline and High Hill. This is the flow chart that we have been conducted during this study. First, we already identified the bathymetry and topography data, and also we use the land cover from the Kotani et al. Then we use the tsunami sort from Babaiko 2010. And for all the source parameter, we conduct tsunami simulation using the Comcat. Then from this simulation, we will have the tsunami Indonesian and arrival time. With the spatial data and the population preparations, we will use the agent-based modeling using the tsunami effect from the Mas 2011, then 2012. Then we will have the casualties, evacuation site, and evacuation site demand. Here is the tsunami simulation setting that we use. We revert to some publications for that area. First is the Supendi et al. 2022 with the magnitude 9.1 for the green one, this location, and for the Widiantoro et al. For the yellow one. with the magnitude 9.1. And then for this study, we use from Babaiko 2010 as the source, using the scaling law Blaser et al. 2010. Using the with magnitude 9.1, we will have more than 200 subfold, and then nesting grid with 5 layer, and all the data for the topography, bathymetry, and land cover also be part of this. This is the agent data that we use during this study. We divided 4 types of the agent. First is kids, teen, adult, and elder. And we also know the age of each group. And then we also have the population for each, for the Palabuan Ratu population and the Jayanti population with the data in 2024. And then we will conduct with the total population for each type of the agent. Then we also do the ratio of population for each of the agent. And then during the evacuation, the population will use car, motorcycle, or the pedestrian. So we are focusing for the number of adult and elder for the car and motorcycle because they can drive that. So we can calculate the number of the car and the number of the kid will be on these agents. The rest will be the pedestrian. This is the speed of its type of agent, and this is actually the number of vehicle in Palabuan Ratu and Jayaputra, Jayanti. This is the agent-based simulation scenario that we use during this agent data. There are doing evacuating for 5 minutes after or during time. It means that BMKG will send the information for 3 minutes, and then probably there are 2 minutes for panic situation and condition. And then all pedestrian and vehicle are assumed to be at home, at office, or at the night. And we conducted 25 stochastic simulation, and the random shelter on means the population unknowledge, and random shelter off means the population with the knowledge of the evacuation location. This is the tsunami simulation result with the sort parameter that we use during the numerical modeling. With the magnitude 9.1, we will have a maximum tsunami height is 32 meter, and the tsunami arrival time is within 21 minutes. And this is the each location for the evacuation site, and also for the exit points, and also the virtual tide gate we use. This is the simulation setting based on ABM. From the left panel, we use all the parameter that I mentioned before in the slide, in the previous slide. Actually, this parameter will be adjustable. Is about the number of the kid, number of the elder, also the number of card is adjustable. And this is the visualization for the situation. For the red one means the congestion occurred, and the white one is the red one is the casualties occurred, and the white one is the congestion occurred. And this is the output from the ABM modeling. We will know how many people conducted or take a decision for doing evacuation, how many people saved, and how many people casualty, and where they go to the evacuation, whether either in tsunami evacuation building or the exit point. This is the initial condition where we haven't yet doing the modeling. Where on that situation, agent are their house before the tsunami comes, and this is end of the simulation. Within 30 minutes, we can see the area for the casualties and the area for the conjunction. And then here is the movie for the simulation. As we can see here, how the people using car, motorcycle, pedestrian, house, and where they are going for evacuation, whether TB1, TB3, and also the exit point. Okay. Okay, this is the result. As we can see here, the average casualties for each type of the agents for the random shelter ons mean no knowledge. For the pedestrian is 80% and 89% per vehicle. And then for the population which has their knowledge about the shelter location, the casualties will be 69% for pedestrian and 85% for the vehicle. And then agents which know the evacuation site can reduce the casualty 4 until 11. And this is the evacuation site demand. From here, we can see that agent prefer to evacuate to Tsunami Evacuation Building 3, it means the Palabuhan Ratu Sports Center, and exit 3. Okay, and last is conclusion that the tsunami trigger by 9.1 will be have the wave height with the 30 meter, and within the arrival time estimated is 21 minutes. And this is casualty will be higher fatality rate compared to 2004. And using the vehicle actually is a higher risk of casualty compared to the pedestrian. And then agent who have knowledge about the evacuation site location will reduce the casualty 4 until 11%. And last is about the prefer of the population to do evacuation going to the Prabona to spot center and exit 3 as their evacuation point. And the last, this study will be very important to identify and use for the basic tsunami disaster strategies in the future. I think that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Once again, we have time for one question from the public. We have only 2 talks left, so if there is a question, you have a question?
Please explain what this digit. Higher fatality rate, 80% of what? Of population potentially exposed for such kind of events?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Professor, for reminding that point. This is, yes, correct, from the population. Thank you, Professor.
The timings of tsunami generation, because as per the timing, if it's a daytime, you'll have a more population to the schools and other thing. It is, if it is daytime, nighttime, it will be all house. So that kind of situations are taken care in this modeling.
Yes, yes, this is the right. The situation and condition will be part of the agent. How do we input, because this is the adjustable data. Whether we can create the environment around the agents. So this is also need to consider. I think this is all the point that you're asking, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you very much. And then we have Srinivas, my co-chair.
Yeah.
And you, for being the chair, have only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I knew you would say that, actually. So I'm prepared for that. Yeah, thanks, Sylvia. Yeah, good evening, colleagues. So this is supposed to be a very kind of a bird's eye view of the Ocean Decade Tsunami Program, and then what are the various projects that have been endorsed by the Ocean Decade Tsunami Program, and then
how all of us as, scientific, operational research community are actually contributing towards reaching the objectives of the Ocean Decade Tsunami Program. So I happen to be the former chair of the Ocean Decade Tsunami Program Science Committee. I've been, now Sylvia is the chair of this committee. I would also like to acknowledge the members. Sasha has been a member of this committee. Of course, Yolong is a member of this committee. Currently, Harkunti is a member of the committee. So you have a lot of people in the room who have been, who worked a lot on this plan, Ocean Decade Tsunami Program Implementation Plan. I'm sure many of you would have seen, at least the summary or the detailed document. I'll not go through this actually, just to see, just for you to get a glimpse of what is our current status of the warning system globally. We have 151 members that are being served by 12 regional tsunami warning centers across 4 ocean basins, and the system governed by the IOC. You've heard this throughout the week. So just to say that this is the summary of the Ocean Decade Tsunami Program Research, Development and Implementation Plan. There is also a detailed document, and then these two are the high-level objectives. One talks about the upstream. The aim is to improve the warning capabilities to be able to provide tsunami confirmation within 10 minutes or less of origin for most at-risk coastlines. That's on the warning system. That's the target. And then on the high-level objective 2 is actually to make sure all the communities which are vulnerable to tsunamis, 100% of them, they are actually, prepared and resilient. Hugely ambitious targets, as you would have also seen earlier this week, a lot of these issues being discussed in the ODTP conference as well. So this is something we all are kind of working together to achieve by 2030. So these are the key elements of the Ocean ODTP. If some of you have not seen, so just the key elements, please forgive the text and the small font. I'm not going to read you through all of that, but just to give you an idea. So it talks about those 4 key pillars of the UN Early Warning for All and the UNDRR elements, actually. Tsunami risk knowledge. So we want to identify and prioritize all the at-risk communities as part of this plan. We want to be able to expand existing observing systems and deploy new ones, not only systems but technologies. We have heard a while ago about the GNSS stations, and then how we can use it for tsunami warning and all those technologies. New ones, how do you optimize the coverage of the instruments? How do you deploy new instruments and so forth? And then on the warning dissemination and communication, we need access to data, tools, communication platforms and protocols, and training, to ensure that we design good warnings that are actionable, and then people receive these warnings, and then they're able to act on these warnings in an appropriate manner. And then on the preparedness and response capabilities is what I just mentioned, response capabilities of communities once they receive these warnings. How do we build those capacities? It could be through programs like Tsunami Ready Recognition Program. We have been talking about equivalency programs, which countries are already implementing within their countries, like in Indonesia, in India, in several other countries. How do we actually, ensure that those equivalency programs are also considered, under the Tsunami Ready? Capacity development cuts across all of these pillars. So we need to build capacities across different stakeholders, across all these pillars. So that's something which is very important. The TICs play a major role here. Schools, and so we need to look at multiple kind of ways in which we build capacities. And then there's a huge governance mechanism which is actually under the IOC. Then there's a TAOS working group. Then there is actually a Tsunami Ready Coalition. There is Ocean Decade Tsunami Program Science Committee, and the ICGs and the National Decade Committees, and so on and so forth, actually, which are part of this entire governance mechanism. The idea is that this plan should provide a pathway for any country, because the resources comes from the countries. Any country should be able to put in their efforts, knowledge, expertise, and resources to be able to meet those 2 broad goals that I mentioned before. So just a few, very few slides I will show. I'll conclude in less than 3 minutes, believe me. So enhancing observing networks, the high level objective 1. This is one example, actually. We are talking about smart cables. Sechi, I don't know whether she's here. She was here Yeah, Sashi is here. So Sashi, smart cables as a means of improving the way we get actually bottom pressure observations, direct tsunami measurements. If you are able to equip all the telecommunication cables with smart, the future ones with, make them smart, then you could actually use it for tsunami warning, climate, and so on and so forth. Of course, there are already certain, pilots which are being implemented. There are 3 of them. I'll not read through them, but yeah, please feel free to, these presentations will be available. So this is something that is actually being coordinated by the joint task force under the WMO, IOC, and the ITU, International Telecommunication Union. So there's a big group, big community of practitioners and researchers and industry working towards implementing such networks, which will phenomenally improve our capability to, detect tsunamis. And volcanoes, again, this is something which ICGs, all the ICGs are working on. IOC is working on with, communities from the volcanic monitoring. It could be the WACs, it could be the volcano observatories and so on. Now, in several ICGs, there are already procedures that have been put in place, SOPs, to actually be able to handle volcano generated tsunamis. Of course, a lot of work needs to be done on the detection aspects of it, but then we have had a huge webinar, and then there is actually this conversation with the scientific community on how we can actually improve our capacities globally towards volcano generated tsunamis. And the next one is actually, we are also working on strengthening warnings for maritime stakeholders, ships out at sea. Right now, we don't do that actually. We give warnings to the coastal populations actually. But what about ships out at sea? They are not at risk, but then well, what if they are coming to coastal areas which might be impacted by tsunami? So they need this information. So in the Pacific and the IoT WMS, we are working with the IHO to come up with procedures. Now we have that recommendation from the TAOS working group. So this is a capacity on the warning front we are trying to improve to the mariners actually. And so those are on the high level objective 1. HLO2, you've heard a lot about this during the week. So I don't need to emphasize this anymore. So we need to work on tsunami ready recognition program or similar initiatives. Huge target. If you want to cover 100% of the vulnerable communities, first we need to know how many vulnerable communities are there. That itself is a big challenge, doing that analysis. We have seen a few talks earlier this week on how that assessment could be done, risk assessment, vulnerability assessments, and so forth. We've heard from Fatime, we heard from Vanessa before. So once that is, of course, that's the forms the basis, and then identifying those communities and then tsunami ready. Right now, we have about 100 communities from 34 countries. So we need to, keep on working on this and improving. Now, when I said it was a challenge, we need key enablers. So this is something UNESCO IOC is working on. There is a tsunami ready toolkit. Adito, Laura Kong, they've been very instrumental in developing this toolkit, Ibu Harkunti. There are, models in which we can give recognition certificate, and then the way we actually enable those recognitions, because we are talking about hundreds and thousands of communities, if not millions. So then the Tsunami Ready Coalition is a big, framework. Right now, the chair is Laura Kong. We want to bring in not only communities with whom we traditionally work on, but communities and groups outside, like it could be philanthropies, it could be other UN agencies, bring them into the, this conversation about building community capacities, not only tsunami ready, it could be multi-hazard and so forth. Then we have done capacity assessments in the Pacific and the IoT WMS. We have actually, this is the methodology I was mentioning before. There is a protocol, University of Montpellier is doing they have done work in the Caribbean. Sylvia is aware, to actually build methodologies, a common methodology by which we can identify hazard and risk, and then identify those communities which we need to work on. So this is my last slide. So we are contributing to the Challenge 6 overall, or towards the ocean decade, which is the safe ocean. Right now, there are about 20 endorsed actions under the Ocean Decade Tsunami Program. Ocean Decade itself has 60 programs, large programs. Vidar mentioned in his opening speech here, how many programs are there, how much money has been mobilized so far. So these are some of the, things that are, we have heard these project leaders present some of these things even today. So these will eventually contribute to meeting those 2 objectives. We are in the midst of the decade. We are actually, we have only 5 years more left. So there are also certain KPIs, key performance indicators, being worked out by the Secretariat, by the PTWS, IOTWMS, and all the ICGs, and trying to see how much of those, how much these projects contribute to meeting those objectives. So no, that's also a tool that will eventually become available quickly. So so these are the key events. We have done events in Barcelona, Spain, as part of the 2024 Ocean Decade. We have had this huge event, GTS Global Tsunami Symposium in Indonesia. And then we have had earlier this week, the Ocean Decade Tsunami Conference. So we are actually, building on such, and of course we have the ITS now. So we need to build this momentum and make sure that we all work together, collaboratively, and then see how we can contribute to achieving the goals of the Ocean Decade. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Srini. We have time for one question. Yes, please, Irina.
Thank you very much, Srini, for the very brief updates on the ODTP. I have two questions. First, what will be the incentive for countries to implement ODTP? The second would be, are there still room to include the early warning for all roadmap or warning system in education sector, or is it already fixed? Thanks.
So the incentive for countries, actually, that's a very, a good question, I would say. So we're trying to engage the countries, So incentive is basically, see, sometimes, being part of this program, it actually builds collaborations, bring them into conversations, actually. See, finally, the resources have to come from the countries, or it should, when we are able to raise resources, it would come from the funding agencies, partnerships. So it doesn't mean that if you are, contributing towards the ocean program, it need not be a funded proposal. It could be a great idea, for example. There could be a country that could come up and say that, okay, I have 10 vulnerable communities in my country, and they would like to implement tsunami ready recognition in these countries. So that's actually out there, the intent of the countries. And then that could be identified as the Ocean Decade, endorsed initiative. And then it gets into the conversation of, the broader, higher level conversation on how we can build connections with other programs, other similar programs, or if there are any funding opportunities, how do you really make those links? So it's kind of, so it brings you into that conversation. And of course, anyway, countries are working towards, if you take the ICGs, most of the countries, in the region like Indian Ocean, there are 27 countries which are part of the ICG process. So in the Ocean Decade Tsunami Program Science Committee, we have been trying to, build those stronger linkages between the ICG processes and then what is happening within the Ocean Decade as a whole within the countries. Because in the Ocean Decade, you have within the countries, they're being encouraged to have Ocean Decade coordination committees, right? So how do you link these DCCs with the, the tsunami warning process within those countries? So it will also bring in a lot of institutional, conversations within the countries. So there are several kind of benefits to, the whole process. And then your second question, Irina, was on the education roadmap. So that's something, that's the whole reason, we really we are working very closely with UNDP, with yourself, and, with SCAP. So that's, I think, something, of course, UNESCO also has an education kind of thing. There are all these, comprehensive school safety framework and so on and so forth. There's also a tsunami ready recognition program, which also talks about capacity building schools and so forth. I think this is a good opportunity for us to really make those links and then see within that overall framework how each of these organizations that are working on, enhancing school safety education can really work together, actually. Yeah, thank you.
So our last speaker of the symposium of the day is Dr. Andrei Babeico.
So now I have to make a final spurt for all us. So I promised I'll be fast. So let's go. I will be talking about EPOS Tsunami core services. So first of all, what is EPOS? EPOS stands for European Plate Observing System. This is the only distributed research infrastructure in Europe dedicated to solid Earth sciences. So ERIC is EPOS is ERIC. ERIC is, as I said, legal entity. It's European Research Infrastructure Consortium. So the money are coming from the member states, and you see there are 28 countries. European countries are member states, so they are paying membership fees, and the consortium itself is consists of 172 research organizations. These are universities, institutions, and the main mission of EPOS is service provision in a harmonized way. Services means provision of data products, software, what is important for us, and all kinds of services. So we are divided by thematic communities, like what you can see on the left-hand side, like seismology, near-fault observatories, volcanology, satellite, and so on. And finally, you see tsunami, like in the very end, because we're very young, we're a new kid on the block. We just appeared last year. We're young, but we're pretty big. We're second or third community in EPOS. I'm skipping this. And I'm coming to the tsunami community. So fact sheet on the tsunami community established last year. Now we have 18 partners from 11 countries. We currently distribute about 40 services. GFSET is a coordinator. Our annual budget for the governance, a little bit help with service provision, is 200,000. We expect new members. 2 already came in this year. And so we have a big executive board with different functions. So we're working very democratic. And we also not only provide services, but we would like to, as a tsunami community, we would like to use this opportunity to have a common platform for talking to each other, for doing the work together. That's why we also have think tanks. One of the strategy development, what are the ideas, what should we support, what should we recommend, and another think tank, so the tsunami service provision group. We distribute the services like our data software based in 4 pillars: support to tsunami service providers, data, numerical models is a separate pillar, and hazard and risk products. 2 channels of data distributions. As I said, EPOS provides a platform, harmonized platform for the integrated data distribution. We are using this platform. So there is a website, you can go there, and you see there is everything from seismology, from GNSS, and also our services, Tsunami. Just a short example, like in one service, we have the submarine landslides database from Spain, colleagues. Another one is example, it's a probabilistic tsunami hazard model for the Mediterranean, which we did like a big team all together. But we distribute more types of services which this platform could accommodate. So we have also our own website, which is called tsunamidata.org, which is also structured in 4 pillars. And I will also show you a couple of examples from this. Like pillar 1 is support for tsunami service providers. Currently, we have only 2 services, and 1 is under construction. This is the first one is where the 5 European tsunami service providers would like to have a common platform to exchange of data and products and warnings and whatever. And so it's still non-populated, so you're welcome. And the second is data, just like we have data from Greece, paleo tsunamis from Italy, we have, as I said, landslides, and this is, for example, access to what you should also know, this facility from Blitz, from Belgium. Sea level monitoring facility. Pillar number 3, we have many codes, many of them, you know, like it's like, for example, Tsunami or Binclaw. The very new one, which I was also co-developing together with INGV, is like instant tsunami simulations to assess the expected wave height, like just in a very short time. And the last pillar is hazard and risk products, not so many up to now, and but it is also growing. And one example is the product from UCL. You have heard the presentation of Fatima. And this is like, this is a product, is basically a suite of data, empirical data, but also the Jupyter notebooks, which could also help you to calculate your risk, to assess your risk and to visualize it. So that's my, so we are closely working together with Global Tsunami Model. There was a poster about Global Tsunami Model presented by Finn Lofholt, because we are cross-cutting communities. We basically exchange experts, ideas, products. So we're in close cooperation with them. And this is my last slide. It's about invitation. EPOS ERIC is now open to strengthen cooperation with countries beyond Europe, and we have made 2 international conferences, EPOS Meets Africa, EPOS Meets Latin America. There are MOUs recently made with EarthScope and OurScope. Partners from non-EU countries can join TCS consortia as associated members. And what you gain, like more visibility for your products, a platform for the communication, for exchange of ideas, co-design and co-development of community standards and data and formats, whatever, joint rising of third-party funding, like what we're doing, like for the European projects, and we're a nice team. So just welcome. If you're interested, please contact me or Marinas, send us emails. So thank you.
Thank you, Andrei. We have time for one question. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the speakers for keeping time, and then the audience for very interesting conversations, and then of course also co-chair Sylvia for efficiently co-chairing with me. I'll hand it over to the organizers.
Thank you, Chair and Co-Chair. I now would like to invite Dr. Mr. Kalo Suniga on stage to present mementos to Dr. Sylvia Chacon and Dr. T. Srinivas Kumar. Okay, the awaiting moment. So we started this week with ODTP conference, and we are closing with this ITS 2025. And I now request Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, Director in COAS, for the closing remarks.
Dear colleagues, and a very smart tsunami community. So as I told earlier in my opening remarks, under IOC umbrella, Tsunami community is one of the smart group which efficiently translated the science to the society and saving the world and preparing a very resilient community. So I already discussed many things with the IOC Executive Secretary that this is a role model for almost all the ocean community under IOC. So the high level objective we discussed, high level objective 1 and high level objective 2 is not only for this tsunami community, it is actually meant for all the community which want to do the science and translate to the community. So the very efficient way you have identified and aligned with the early warning for all objectives of UN and the challenges and the opportunities for networking discussed in this last 1 week, I can tell, ODTP and ITS is model for all the new age scientists. The scientist, I can say, the scientist who is not a freelancer, but the scientist who is getting salary from the respective governments and taxpayers' money is really a model. This is where the scientific community has to work, because we can do the research, freelance research and publish, but this is the way I think we should go to serve the communities. Of course, we have a number of objectives under objective 1 and objective 2 discussed on tsunami detection. And I have seen a lot of collaborating opportunities. Efficiently, the IOC team with Srinivas has done a lot of side events where more discussions on how to make new age technologies for detection of the tsunamis, especially the smart cables and the acoustic kind of areas and the electron content. So many things are discussed. So these are the things we can think about the implement in the next generation tsunami warning center, especially on non-seismic tsunamis. Particularly in COIS is concerned, we got a lot of ideas in that how to put this the discussion points in our 5-year objective so that we can in COIS we can have a develop a next generation tsunami warning system. And high level objective 2, the preparedness, and theoretically we should go entire villages of the global villages should be tsunami ready to convert into multi-hazard ready. So many ideas integrating science, technology and social science we have heard for last 5 days. It will be very essential not only to the tsunami warning centers, but the disaster management authorities all over the world to implement. So effectively, this 5 years was 5 days was very fruitful to the entire communities, tsunami communities, researchers, students, and policymakers. I thank and congratulate the ODTP team as well as the ITS team who has organized it in very effective manner with a very, I can say, very apt, relevant, and concrete ideas and agenda. So I thank all of the communities, all of the members in the tsunami community who made it happen. And also I thank the local organizing committee of these events, starting from our FIGA event to ODTP to the ITS, led by Dr. Patabi and Dr. Sudhir. And we have here Sunanda, Ramya, Sandhya, Nagaraj Kumar. They are working almost entire day and night for these events. So that is what this made it very successful, because it happens such a way that there is no gap, one after other. 4 days event, 2 days event, and 3 days event. Again, we have a gap for the next event for in December, that is International Indian Ocean Science Conference. That's also a big event. So we got a good support from our administration, led by Mr. Nagesh Rao, Devendra Kumar, and Subramaniam. So I hope all our logistical arrangement was very good. Any kind of problem in this thing, I say sorry, because we have limited people, but we tried our best to make the event memorable to all of you. So I also thank my friend Srinivas Kumar, who's a bridge between INCOIS and IOC. We used to tell him in private way, you are the brand ambassador of INCOIS, but I never do in front of Vidar, but then he will cut his salary. Half. So thank you, Srinivas, to be here. And all other members and the chair of ITS, Tanioka-san, not only for be here and leading us in all the things. Also, yesterday's event, that is International Indian Science Festival, you made the curtain raiser. So it has gone viral, because we are very happy. India is very happy that you have done that one in that way. So all the messages, all the knowledges, all best practices we got from this 5 days event. I hope that it will be benefited for the warning centers, benefited for the member states, and the benefited for the communities all along the world coast. So I thank all of you. Ajay is there, so I'm not leaving him. For this, we have a very big team behind this. So I thank all of you, and all the best when you go back. Have some good memories about Hyderabad and this meeting about INCOIS. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we have decided not to leave you early, because this is the only moment we can get. So there, you had been part of many side events. So there is one more side event is going to start now. Just to start with, Pa Ditto. He has been the soul of Tsunami Ready Recognition Program, not only in the Indian Ocean, with his active participation in all other ocean basins. So we wanted to make this moment as a memorable with a few gratitude words. So I request Irina to come forward and lead this.
If we are to see or to experience another huge tsunami, and then the people are even much more prepared than we thought. One person that worked really, really hard to make that happen, meticulously look at the methodology, full of care and heart in being with all of us in every single training, nurturing youth and young professionals that expanded from Indonesia out to 14 countries in the Asia and Pacific through You Inspire. Everybody cannot say enough about this one person, Bapak Ardhito Kodijat. I was always think that you were a scientist, but even more than that, you're a border crosser. You bridge different communities, different people, different political processes that are immensely difficult because you started what was once never there, the Indian Ocean Tsunami Information Center. You choose to move away from the government services, PPPT, or the National Agency for Technology Assessment and Application, and then you fully support UNESCO until 31st of October 2025. Srinivas, can you come forward as well? And also, Sunanda, can you come forward as well to hand over this? So this is a painting, and most of you had already write beautifully for Parito. I know one page is never enough. It's not enough at all, of course, but this is just to let you know that you are so, so important for this community and you will never escape, sorry. Although you're retiring, we'll keep on bothering you because you're that much needed. Thank you very much for all of your time and effort and love and care for the Tsunami Society. I would like to invite Srinivas to talk about Ardhito just a little bit.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is totally, I haven't prepared, but, Adito, I call him, people who see both of us actually think we are brothers, actually. So I call brother, actually, Adito. So I've known Adito for, since I got into the tsunami warning space. That goes back 15 years, maybe, Adito, and I've learned, I've learned immensely from Adito, and then I totally agree and then support what Irina just said. Building the Indian Ocean Tsunami Information Center, building the communities, tsunami-ready communities. And above all that, tsunami-ready is something we have been talking recently, but then building friendship, partnerships. Adito always has this knack of, creating WhatsApp groups, actually. So each and every training, we have a WhatsApp group and, it's very in UN system, we have to be very formal. And then so we do that. We try to do that as much as possible. But then, this informal communication with friends and then, even for official work, that's something, you've really, made those connections, very organic actually, and then a very, very informal way. So thank you very much, Adito. And then we have all, Indian Ocean community has learned so much from you. And then we are going to miss you. But, that doesn't mean that we are going to leave you. So you're going to actually work for us. I'm sure, we'll be calling upon your expertise. And then I hope that you'll be able to spend a lot more time with us, actually, because we've taken up so many projects. The UN Ocean Decade going until 2030 has put so many challenges ahead of us. So we will continue to bank on your support, Adito. But then I also wish you, on behalf of all of us, a very happy retirement. A bit more time for yourself and with the family. So that we wish you. But then we also wish that you continue to work with us. Thank you on everybody's behalf.
Thank you, Aditya. Yeah, Tsunami Ready community, I think it's a coin to him. And what attracted me is he's yesterday he taught me the dance. See, it shows actually how he made the communities. Not because that I have seen here same stage when we have a term workshop, how he is actually making the network. So the thing is that network is fine and is a very good word in among that, but that is not the case. But when you want to translate to the communities, it require a lot of dedication. It require a lot of sacrifice. You have to come down from that same the spot of scientist to the grassroots level. I think Adito have that capability. I have seen from the beginning. When I came actually for 5-6 years before in tsunami community, earlier Srinivas was taking. So since then I know the Adito in many stages and the way he speak, the way he speak to the communities when we have this, we visited many places, Orissa as well as the Kerala like that. How he make that communities and the awareness spirit among the people, it is actually very loudly appreciable. That I think, as I told, I think this will go up to 2030. So we require the service of you, the entire tsunami community, not only tsunami community, actually the resilient community, I can say coastal resilient community. So anyway, I wish you will get a little bit more time to spend with your family, but apparently this community cannot leave you. I am very sure on that. Okay, thank you, Adit. All the best.
Auditor, not this community, this family will not leave you. So I now request Director Inquest to felicitate Auditor. Okay, not now. But Tabi also would like to say a few words, please.
Yeah, I think I got into Tsunami fraternity after Srinivas left to IOC in 2016. But I think I got introduced to Adito in Kish Island, that ICG 12. So from that time onwards, I have been observing. I think you are very you're passionate about the Tsunami Ready implementation program. Actually, I got the opportunity to work with you in implementation of Tsunami Ready in India, particularly the two villages. First in India as well as in Indian Ocean, and then now it has grown to 26 from India, and we have Indonesia also, and now Indian Ocean Tsunami Ready community is about 48, I think, is contributing to 50% of the global Tsunami Ready villages. Now I see that contribution as your contribution is pivotal in the Tsunami Ready program implementation. And also I have seen that the Tsunami Ready implementation requires a lot of capacity building. So since 2016, I have been observing that we have conducted several programs where you are instrumental in obtaining the funding, securing the fundings from the agencies, and we have successfully organized. And I know that you have made a significant role in organizing these capacity building programs in implementation of Tsunami Ready recognition. And also, I was fascinated about your enthusiasm, passion towards preserving the information of the past tsunamis, where you made valuable contributions by interviewing these people who had experienced the tsunamis in the past. And that is very, very important. Preserving that information, I think you made a lot of documentaries and other things, and also significant contributions when it comes to the outreach and education programs through webinars, seminars, and all. And I can confidently say when we are talking about this ODTP high-level objective 2, I think you have made tremendous efforts when it comes to the Indian Ocean region. Of course, it has been taken into the other regions as well, your contributions. So as Srinivas and Bala has mentioned, I think though you have retired, anyway, I wish you a healthy and happy retired life, but we are not going to leave you. We are going to continue to take your services with us. Thank you.
I now request Dr. Bala to felicitate Pak Ardhito.
I'm sorry. This is too heavy for me. I just would like to say thank you very much. Sorry, this is really heavy. Thank you very much, and I don't think I'll be here without all of you. I think I know that a lot of you have worked in tsunami world much more than I am. I only spent 19 years, which is only a very microscopic of the Earth here. But I think my work has been very easy because I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of support. Dr. Bala, Srinivas, Matabi, Irina. I don't know if I can mention everyone, but what I can say just thank you very much. I really appreciate this. I didn't expect this. Again, it's too heavy for me, but I say, yes, I'm retired, but I'm not expired. So I would be happy to continue to work with all of you in this tsunami world. So thank you very much. And again, I really, really, really appreciate what's this additional side events as Sunana mentioned. Thank you very much. So.
Pak Ardhito, I just want to mention we just inaugurated phase 3. So yes, you are still with us. I'm not going to leave you. So to conclude this session, I request Professor Danioka-san, please give your closing remarks.
Thank you, everybody. I'm very happy to be here and 5 days actually come to here and participate in ITS meeting in here, meeting you, Tsunami committee, Tsunami science members working together. And this is because I told you before in the past day, this is the meeting. Actually, all of the people from the world are meeting together is 8 years. The one before was the Bali in 2017. And after that, we had a huge development and we had so many observation systems and observation method and computing facilities developed a lot. And we have our AI systems, we have quantum computing and the PI AI, and everything is quite new. And we all using those facility and the new systems and very, very good. And I heard a lot of sessions and a lot of talks. And I thought before I came to here, because I retired last year, but still I'm working in the university, and I thought I was done. And I don't need to do the science anymore. But after I came here, listened to your talk, I got many ideas right now. And I don't want to tell you, because I want to tell my student to do it, or my postdoc to do it. So now I'm very happy that, again, I want to do a science. And for this meeting, I'm very thanks for the English peoples supporting us to have a meeting like this in here. And I wanna thanks for the staff in the behind. Those people are taking all of the instruments. Thank you. And the staff in there, I think providing food for us. Thank you very much. And of course, staff in the front. Thank you very much. And especially Sunanda. Because all of them email her that the many things, each of them was sending an email, many things, but she emailed me back as soon as we sent, That's very impressive. Right? Thank you very much. And we saw that their system on second floor, that was also impressive to see those kind of a system. I cannot believe before 2004, anybody was thinking about the tsunami science will be in India. But now the huge system and the science, we are so impressed about that. I hope next meeting, ITS meeting, is also something like this. And we all meet together and discuss about science so that I can also continue after 4 years. Thank you very much.
I actually wrote 2 pages to conclude this. but I feel with your faces you had enough of me. So I'm just saying thank you so much for your patience and apologize for anything has gone wrong, especially the logistics. So please excuse me for that, and we will make it better next time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your patience, for stretching down these sessions. Still, you are here. Thank you so much. Yes. Still, organizers wanted me to announce one thing. So if anybody would like to go to see our operational lab, you're welcome. We will take you there. If you are had already enough, yes, it's time. Vehicles are ready. Thank you.